the Auburn Blitz Podcast, your direct source for all Auburn all the time with Brett Pritchard, Faith Richardson, and Randy Lee.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Blitz Podcast here on a Friday morning. We are glad that you've joined us wherever and whenever it is that you join us each and every day here on the Auburn Blitz and making Auburn Blitz part of your daily Auburn athletic intake. It's Brett and Faith as normal, and our buddy Kyle Rush from the barn joining us here on this Halloween spooky morning here, cold morning outside.
Very cold.
So glad to see both of you, as always. A lot to dive into this morning, but how are both of you this morning?
Go ahead, Faith. Go, you go first.
I'm cold, but other than that, I'm doing well. We had a cold night last night at the Sportplex, but it's Halloween. You can't complain.
It's cold, but the sun's out, so hopefully it's going to warm up a little bit. We got trick or treating in last night and ready to roll.
I was going to say, okay. So before we dive into this, it's very important. What's your favorite Halloween candy? Like when you're trick-or-treating, or when you were trick-or-treating, or hey, you still live vicariously through your kids. What do you want your kids to rack up on, Kyle? And
Reese's.
then I'll go to you, Faith.
Hands down, Reese's. My son's, I've taught him well. When he gets a Reese's, he comes running, Dad, they got Reese's, and he gives them to me. So he came in last night, dumped it all out on the table, separated out all the Reese's, and those are mine. So
there you go.
So nice.
All right, Faith, let's go to Halloween candy.
I was going to say Reese's. I really, really like the pumpkin ones are superior to all the other normal ones.
Okay.
So I would say those.
Hard to go wrong with Reese's. And then for some reason, I don't eat Snickers on a normal basis, but for some reason, Halloween, if you get a Snickers in your bag or your little pail or whatever you carry around trick-or-treat, you feel like you got to win. So I don't know. It's just it's quality stuff. Now, to me, the worst out there, candy corn. Are y'all candy corn fans?
I will fight you if you try to give me candy corn. I want no part of candy corn.
And then you start shaping your way you think of people when you go to their house. You go, that's what they're giving.
You didn't even try.
Yeah, that's a ripoff. So that's our Halloween edition here. You can get your candy in over here on the comments if any of you want to add what you like. But obviously, we want to dive into this Kentucky matchup tomorrow. Basketball last night. We'll talk about that as Auburn just annihilated Memphis. Now, again, it was a exhibition game, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But just to kind of dive into this game tomorrow, Auburn is it still a 10.5-point favorite? I hadn't checked the line this morning, guys.
I'll look at it. You keep going.
Yep. So when we look at this, the first part is the move from Jackson Arnold to Ashton Daniels. And Faith and I have already talked about this like 3 times this week. So Kyle, I want your opinion first. What is it with Hugh Freeze being able to just, and I know you and I kind of talked about it Tuesday as well, but
yeah,
what is it with him trying to take that next step and go, okay, Ashton Daniels is our guy moving forward right now, at least?
Yeah. I try to think of like, what are the benefits if they just come out and say it? Like, right. I don't know that you necessarily gain a ton. I'm less worried about like him. If Ashton is the guy, I'm way less worried about him naming it on Monday than if he's actually starting on Saturday. Where I'm coming off and I'm just like, what are you thinking? Is if it's truly, they were truly splitting reps 50-50, like when you get to the team period that we don't get to see, because this is a must-win game. You know what I mean? Like this is a game you can't lose. So if you're splitting it up, like how does one guy who hasn't played all year, how can he get ready for a game and a game plan if you're splitting it 50-50? I'm going to assume that that's just all part of that. Like it's all just right. Like we're just throwing that out there to make it sound good. And then we're going to run Ashton out there if they announce it today or they wait till tomorrow. You just can't be, I don't even want to say what I'm about to say, but like that can't be real. Like, they can't be real that you actually did that one way or the other. Either give Jackson the most of the reps or Ashton most of the reps. You can't be having a quarterback battle in week 10. Like that's not real, right?
It's not, Faith. It's not, Kyle, but Faith, that's kind of what we talked about yesterday. It's not fair that, Jackson's been the starter to this point. And of course, if he's the starter, he gets all the reps. If you've moved on and you're going to give Ashton this job tomorrow night, you've done him a disservice if you've been. And again, like Kyle said, we don't know because we haven't seen the full drills. We hear things, but you're really setting somebody up for failure if you're not giving them the full amount of reps in practice.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And it's not even like it's some competition between the two of who's going to motivate each other better. I mean, that's something you do in high school of, all right, I'm not going to tell him who's going to be the starting quarterback. That's going to make him work even harder in practice. That's not what it is. This just sounds like, where's the confidence and where is, I mean, you're showing that your loyalty lies to who and to what, because that's not you doing what's beneficial for the whole team.
I kind of am of the mindset of you've seen enough. Like I look, we're all watching the same game and team that you are as the coach, and it's more than a sample size. It's apparent that in big situations, and the defense, we'll talk about the defense in a minute, but the defense has put Auburn in positions in all of these games to win them. You just need a guy with a little moxie that says, look, I got to put the team on my shoulder in a crucial situation to make a play or make a drive. And we've seen, Lord knows, we've traveled. We've been on the road and seen this up close and personal, Kyle. I mean, he cannot do it when the chips are on the table. So he threw a pick six at the end of the first half and just deflate. Like, that to me was the deflating moment. And I'm like, if they stick with Jackson Arnold in the second half, there's no way from a motivation and a momentum standpoint that Auburn will come out and win. And again, you can't see the future, but it just felt like that was a deflating moment. And Hugh Freeze went immediately. I know it was just 40 seconds left in the first half, but he said, I've got to make this change now before we go into the locker room. And I think that was a big deal, not waiting till halftime and then come out and put Ashton in. He kind of sent the message, and you saw the team respond. Now, offensively, they didn't get in the end zone with Ashton, but they did look more confident, and it did actually give the defense maybe a little more hope, like, hey, let's go out here and help this group and see if we can get over the hump. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there. If it may not be quantifiable, you may not can point to a statistic that shows that Ashton was markedly better than Jackson, but there is something from a mindset standpoint to where it's like, hey, I don't necessarily have to press so hard because this is, it's something different. I don't have to fear that the quarterback's going to screw it up or not going to be able to get it done. Think about Alex. Like, Alex, we don't know how many opportunities we're going to get with Jackson because of what we've seen. We don't really know what we're going to get with Ashton. So maybe I can be a little bit more free. Defense working to get the ball back. Like, there is a mindset aspect of it that you can't quantify on the stat sheet for sure. One thing that Hugh keeps saying in defense of Jackson is how phenomenal he's been on the first drives. And I'm like, bro, that's your script. That's your best plays. Like, of course he's going to be good on the scripted plays. Like, that's kind of how that typically works. Those first drives are supposed to be your best drives, like your best, like all your best fire ammo thrown at them. You know what I mean? So of course,
to me, that's a shot at us, y'all. Like, it kind of makes us feel like, oh, y'all don't know anything about football. Hey, he's just great out of the gate. And you want to follow up and not be a jerk and go, okay, I see that. But what about the rest of the freaking game?
Yeah,
what about every other drive?
Exactly.
I mean, so, Faith, I told you this, and Kyle just mentioned it. It's a must win. Hey, you know why it's a must win? Because of the four left. Kentucky is the worst team outside. And I would say Mercer's got a way better record, but Kentucky is the worst team. And then you would hope you would take care of business at home against Mercer. Well, that gets you to your bowl eligibility with those 2 wins. Exactly. And then you got Vanderbilt on the road and then Alabama at home. So this is absolutely a must win. When we flash back to Hugh talking to the guys in Birmingham going, hey, I know what the expectations are at Auburn. We got to get to a bowl game. I mean,
it's a must win.
Yeah, that's where you say, okay, it started off with going to a bowl game. Then you say, all right, we're going to playoffs. Obviously, playoffs is not even a question anymore. But a bowl game should be what Auburn can at least make it to, even though they should have been able to make it to the playoffs with this roster. And I don't know. I think the reflection of what has gone on this season, and I know it's all we've talked about, but it has to be evaluated in some point, because Brett, we talked about it yesterday, maybe, of why has it taken this long to make a significant change?
And that, Kyle, I want to that, and I think that leads right into the next point I want to talk to both of you guys about. And don't let me get out of here, Kyle, without getting your opinion about all of these coaching changes mid-season and the market, and just let's make sure we go back to that before we get off. But just following up with what Faith just said, a perfect segue. What is Hugh Freeze's biggest flaw as a coach? Everybody's got their positives. Everybody's got their negatives. But then there's one thing always with every coach. You can go back and look at any coach and say, okay, that was the one thing that he just couldn't get a grip on, or he couldn't get over the hump with. I want to hear from both of y'all. What do you think, in your opinion, is Hugh Freeze's biggest flaw?
Faith, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
You can go.
Okay. I think I've thought about this actually a lot, and I think really and truly the biggest weakness is how he balances and organizes the way the between being a head coach and the offensive staff. I butchered how you say that. The organization on the offensive staff, to me, seems like the biggest weakness, and not being able to move forward in this new age of college football. We're really still focusing back on high school recruiting and leaning on your player personnel people to evaluate talent, particularly at quarterback. And then the whole aspect of how this offense works, like how it's game planned by like a couple of guys, and then you walk in and you call plays on Saturday. Organization, attention to details, that to me seems like there's too many balls in the air that he struggles juggling at this moment. And I think that's what's led to the dysfunction, because, a lot of it doesn't necessarily seem like – a lot of it seems like, to me, it looks like poorly prepared, or like poorly not ready to play, or not game planned to the extreme. Like, you'd miss so many little things. I think just being able to adjust to this day and age, and everything that goes along with being a head coach, and then the way you have this offensive setup, it just feels like I made an emotional move after Philip Montgomery left. I'm taking everything back, but I don't really necessarily have the best plan in mind of how to execute that and still do all the other things that I have to do. To me, that's been the biggest flaw. I think a lot of people would have given you more leeway probably if you didn't give up on the play caller, give up on the offensive coordinator situation. And then instead of you grabbing it back, you maybe just go find another offensive coordinator, and you work it that way so you can still focus on the other aspects of the team. That was a long answer to say I think organization seems to be the biggest weakness to me.
Yeah, I think it's his evaluation of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Now, we've seen this since he's been at Auburn. You have the whole Peyton Thorne era, and then you have Hank Brown. And I mean, the ring around the rosy of quarterbacks since he's been at Auburn. And then now this year of sticking with Jackson Arnold, and then moving on to Ashton Daniels. And it's something that the whole offense, when you've got that quarterback being the one that makes the decisions in the offense and is the leader on the offensive side, and you keep adjusting and switching out your leader, no one can adjust to that, and no one can create a bond or a confidence in each other when it's like that. And so it's been a huge just problem since he's been at Auburn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think both of you hit the nail on the head. It's a combo for me. For me, probably what Faith said, he's supposed to be the quarterback whisperer when he came to Auburn, and you feel good about his evaluation. And I give him a D minus maybe to that point. That's being very generous, I think. And then the organization, has he changed his offense? Like, I was talking to another beat writer the other day at practice, Kyle, when you and I were walking around, and he came up to me and he goes, has Hugh really changed anything since Ole Miss? And again, if you don't have a absolute dynamic quarterback, we know that a dynamic quarterback, you can continue to run the same things and it make up for it because the guy's just so much better and he can make plays. But when you don't have one and you haven't really changed much offensively since your days at Ole Miss, and if you go back and watch it, Bo Wallace, whatever you want to say, it's really the same stuff. And defenses and teams have caught up to this, and they know what Auburn's going to do. And I think that is comboed in with lack of play from the quarterback position is why you see Auburn not breaking 20 points in football games. And that is almost astonishing to me at a place like Auburn, that you can't put an offense on the field that can't break 20 points. I know they did against Arkansas, but look, the pick six helped out and all that kind of stuff. But this is an offense through majority of the SEC schedule so far that is at the dead bottom offensively.
Yeah, it's bad. I go back and forth there on is it that defenses have caught up and the offense hasn't changed? I mean, I go back and forth. Is that the problem? Is that not the problem all the time? Because I mean, you look at last year and you're one of the more explosive offenses in the country. You just were unorganized. Like you missed the little things, screwed you up and cost you games. I don't know. I do know there's a lot of stuff that does seem to be evolving and we're not necessarily catching up with it. I can point to red zone offense and how it doesn't seem like there's much there. Like you don't have a lot of bullets in the chamber when it comes to like no doubter plays, easy stuff. Like there just doesn't seem to be a lot of that. I don't know if that's necessarily the offense right now or if it's personnel, which both of them are an issue. Does personnel require you to condense your playbook to only call the things that they can execute, and then that limits you? That could be some of it. Regardless, there's a lot of issues out there, and we've all named 2 or 3 different ones, and every single one of those is a legitimate issue, and that's a problem.
I agree. I think all of that in whole is why we are in the situation as a program that we're in. All right, let's talk about some of our partners, Faith, here before we move on to the second part of the program, Sensagreen.
Sensagreen for air that's cool and clean this fall during dollar days. Call Sensagreen for major discounts on HVAC repairs and installs, plus insulation with Professor Greenbacks. Get HVAC smart at sensagreen.com through Thanksgiving with up to $100 off HVAC repairs, $500 off installation work, and $1,500 off a new HVAC system. Sensagreen with Carrier, turn to the experts. How cool are these coupons?
They're pretty cool because it's real cool outside right now. It's going to get cooler as we move forward. Scout Program Management, a full construction management firm. They're based out of Birmingham, Alabama, and they work with municipalities, educational boards of education, whatever. If you got a multi-million-dollar project or even just a smaller project, they will make sure that it's done correctly. They'll hold contractors accountable. They'll go through the punch list from start to finish. You don't have time to do that if you're trying to run a school system or a city. That's why you hire a program management company like Scout, and they will make sure your project's done correctly. Check them out online and go see them in Birmingham, Alabama.
Bunkers in downtown Auburn. Tomorrow they've got live music. They've got $1 Jello shots tonight and tomorrow. And they've got really good happy hour deals all the way from like 4 until closing. And so go over to Bunkers, downtown Auburn. It's going to be a great time over there. Really jealous of everybody that gets to go.
Yeah, no kidding. Great place, awesome environment. It's Halloween. They got all kind of stuff going on. It's gonna be hopping tonight. I know it's cool outside, but Halloween night, people are gonna get out and do some stuff. So
quick update: the line's up to 11.5.
Okay, there you go. So I had
at 9.5, I think.
It did open at 9.5, so it's moving up, and I'm not surprised by that, to be honest. Kyle, Faith, and I broke down this game yesterday from a numbers standpoint, and they've gotten better since they've made a quarterback change. Obviously, the last 2 games against Texas and Tennessee, Boley put up pretty good numbers, but it's still Kentucky. They still don't stop anybody, and it's almost very similar to Arkansas in a way, except you're going to be at home in Jordan-Hare. And God knows it's been forever since Auburn fans have had anything joyous to celebrate after a night game, which used to be the norm, by the way, in Jordan-Hare. Night game in Jordan-Hare was always a death sentence for whoever came in. Yeah. Well, it hadn't been that way. And, Hugh Freeze's record inside Jordan-Hare, not very good. I think he has a losing record. Is he 9-10? Yes.
I think that's correct.
I mean, we've had so many astonishing bad stats that we've gone through over the last 2 weeks. I just lose count.
It's hard to keep up. Hey, we did make the number 1, 2, and 3 of worst officiating calls of the year, so that's big.
We did talk about that in depth yesterday. I mean, add that fuel to the fire as if it hadn't been.
We claim that championship? Is that a championship that we can claim? Is that the 8th of the year?
I mean, you're not even through the season, and you have this top 10 ranking of worst officiating calls, and Auburn's the top 3, and they're on the wrong side of all 3 of them.
It's incredible.
I mean, it is. So, like, when it rains, it pours. It just keeps going. All right, over to the next point. DJ Durkin, obviously the bright and shining star for this football team, and the defensive side, and carrying the weight and all of that stuff, just begging for some help from the offense. And I get people all the time asking us, well, what's going to happen? Can we just keep DJ Durkin? Whatever happens, if you freeze, can we do whatever? Because we do have this thing figured out on the defensive side of the ball. And everybody wants to know, well, if Hugh Freeze leaves, are they going to give him a shot? Should he get a shot? He's been a head coach before. It didn't really work out for him at Maryland. And but the bottom line is, I think everybody loves DJ Durkin and the product he's put on the field. And if you do have a coaching change, what ends up happening to him, most of the time everybody leaves if a coach leaves and you bring in all new guys. But that would be a tough pill to swallow, to lose a guy like DJ Durkin.
He has been the bright spot. I look at guys like to me. I think the one way that you guarantee he comes back is if Hugh comes back. It feels like he's going to be here if we win enough games and you bring Hugh back for next year, 2026. It feels like Durkin will be here. To me, where it gets sketchy is if you have a change, because look, I know he can say all the right things. I love Auburn. I'm building a house here. I love being a coordinator. We make really good money. My wife and kids, everybody, we all love it here. And you maybe get that feeling that he could be Auburn's Bud Foster. The guy's 47 years old. Like, right. Look, he's got a ton of coaching left. And I think what he's done at Auburn from a football people aspect, they know how big it's been, and they know how impressive it's been as well. So human nature, if you bring in somebody that's not him as the head coach, human nature would make you think that there, even as all the good things that he says, there could be a little bit of resentment there. And I would imagine it would be really, really hard to retain him if you bring in a new coach. Now, as far as him being a head coach, look, you got 2 of the most well thought of coaches out there right now, Kirby Smart and Dan Lanning. They were both hired as defensive coordinators, and they were both hired out from under defensive head coaches. That's what's even more impressive about what DJ's done is he's the best coordinator in football, and he has no support from the other side of the ball, and he's under a offensive head coach. So he has full autonomy of that side of the ball. So, there's a lot of talk about John Summerall and all these like hot shot guys out there. Like my thing is, if you're wanting to go defense and you're looking at guys like that, why would you look much further than what you got over there on the defensive side of the ball? Like, he is the head coach of that defense. Like, there is no input from anybody other than DJ Durkin. So why not have some of that? If you got to make a change, why not look at maybe taking some of that and spreading it across the whole team, the same organization, the same attitude, the same mindset? I don't know. Call me crazy.
Well, bird in the hand's worth two in the bush, they say, right? And
yeah, exactly.
Faith, you and I went through the visitor list yesterday for tomorrow's game. What was the common denominator of the high-ranked guys? What side of the ball is it on?
On the defensive side of the ball. And it's why we were talking about why wouldn't you want to come and play for him? And the only negative part of that was you have no help on the offensive side. And
that's it.
I mean, you're getting lots of reps in, and you're getting worn down and tired from having to go out there time and time again of just getting no help on the offensive side. And so that was the only negatives that we could find.
These guys want to win, man. Like they want to win. It doesn't matter how well you're coached and how well you perform as a unit. Like, they want to win too. Like, it's demoralizing to go get the ball back over and over and over again
and not get any help
and not get anything out of it until you finally just decide, well, hell, we're going to score. If y'all can't do it, we're just going to score.
It's the 92 Alabama defense mentality. They're like, this offense sucks so bad, we're just gonna have to. And like the stats from that season, I know this is an Auburn podcast, but it really reminds me of that. It's like, if they had not been so dominant on defense, that team would have been like a 500 team. They were so bad offensively.
Jay Barker, didn't he throw for like 80 yards or something like that in the national championship?
Terrible.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, going against Gino Toretta, who was up for the Heisman, it's like the defense said, hey, I got an idea. Y'all screw up so much. Y'all just sit over there and we'll handle it. All right, we'll just play 4 quarters. Y'all sit over there, we'll go win the national championship. I feel like when our defense is on the field, I'm like, man, we've got just as much of an opportunity to score if Rayshawn Pleasant picks the ball off or somebody else as if anybody on the offensive side is out there. So, and I know that's a bad way to feel, but kind of going along with the point of like Tank Jones and Nolan Wilson coming back and those guys, despite how bad this football team results have been, they keep getting pulled back because they know if that Auburn can figure out the offense. DJ Durkin the product he's putting out there, the stat, that's another one of these astonishing stats, 4 teams in the country. I know y'all put it out the barn. We talked about it. Everybody's pushed this out now. 4 teams in the country have given up less than 24 points in every game this season. 3 of them are playoff bound. Miami, Indiana. 3 of them are playoff bound, and then you got Auburn sitting over here in the same category, and it's like, well, where are they at?
Making it to a bowl game.
Yeah, you don't even have to be good. You don't even have to be good on offense. If you're just like average,
said it a million times.
You're 6-1 or 5-2 at worst.
Yes, crazy. I know Faith's tired of hearing me say that. I say it every day. Just be mediocre. You don't have to be. Yeah, exactly. And you've won 2 of those 4 you've lost. And I'm so tired. I'll bring this up again. I promise I won't say it again. But I'm so tired of handing Missouri games. Last year, the guy comes back from the hospital. He's laying in the hospital. He's like, hey, man, can y'all wheel me out of here? I got to go win this game. I got 1 drive left in me. I'm going to limp down the field and beat Auburn. And they did. And then you come back this year and just every which way you can hand the game to Missouri, you handed it to them. But I told Faith yesterday, Kyle, Missouri handed one to Auburn a few years ago that I don't know. You had to figure out a way to lose that game, and Missouri did. So
they were creative. They
did. So Auburn gave them a 2-for-1. They felt so bad about stealing that game from them. They said, we're going to give you 2. So now we're all even. Can we just move forward from that and quit giving games away? But I just wanted y'all's thoughts on DJ Durkin. Now moving forward, update on injuries. I did see Malcolm last night. Faith and I saw Malcolm last night at the football game in Alex City. I talked to him personally yesterday. He did hyperextend his knee in practice a couple of days ago. And he and I talked. He said, man, if you look at the video, he said, you'd be amazed that I'm even walking right now. But he's had a full – yeah, it is. But he seemed fine to me last night, Faith, right, walking.
Yeah, he seemed fine. I mean, he's also that kid that, I was saying the other day that he's just so resilient in wanting to get back out on the field and wanting to feel better, basically, that I don't see him wanting to hold anything back.
Yeah, if he feels halfway, and he did say that there was no damage, he's got a bone bruise, but outside that, hyperextensions are so scary because first of all, they look nasty when they happen.
Yeah.
Obviously your knee's not meant to go that direction. And so, but sometimes they can damage your ligaments, or they did a full, check on him. So he's just sore more than anything. So thank God, Horatio Fields already being out would have been terrible to lose Malcolm Simmons. So let's hope he can get back. And then of course, Cam Coleman. But Hugh Freeze said yesterday he thinks that Cam would probably be able to go in this game. But the other one is Jordan Crawford. He said probably doubtful.
Yeah.
So he said another injury that happened in that Tuesday practice. So, man, got rough Tuesday after you and I left, Kyle. I guess things went downhill.
I hate we missed that, man. They must have been knocking pads. So but all in all, though, if you look at our availability report versus Kentucky's, it's crazy. Kentucky's got 10 guys out, and we have 2. So I don't know exactly. I don't know the depths of their depth chart, inside and out, to know how big of a deal that is. I'm excited to see Darrell Robinson. I'm wondering if he's going to get. If he's going to get some touches. That's big because of how big of a load Jeremiah Cobb had last week. I don't think that's necessarily ideal. I don't know that he's a 28 carry running back. I think he's probably like an 18 to 20 guy, and he can be explosive. But if you can spell him with guys like Omar and Darrell,
yes,
that's big. So I wish Malcolm wasn't hurt. That didn't happen, because I'd be okay if Cam just didn't even play, because you need him. You should be able to win this game without him. And you need him to try to knock off Vandy and Alabama down the road. So, but if he's okay to even try it, he must be not nearly as bad as we thought it was, or as it looked.
And how much Perry are we going to see? We've been seeing a lot of him the past couple of weeks, and a lot of growth from him.
He's gonna he's gotten better. It feels like it seems like over the last 3 weeks he's just blossomed. So
sometimes
I don't know.
It just clicks, y'all. I mean, that's the odd thing about sports. Like, a guy, he's been the same guy, and it's like you finally get out there and go, okay, I get it now.
And he even said, he was like, I've been playing the way I've always played, but I just keep working harder. And I really do think there is something that has changed in these last couple of weeks of maybe it just, like you said, clicking, making sense, becoming
game slowing down,
maturing and growing. Yeah.
And I'm with you. I think he's going to be a key piece, especially if you got Malcolm and Cam banged up and you're a little bit apprehensive about how much you want to put them in the game. So, but you bring up a good point, Kyle. I think it's massive to get Darrell Robinson back. What a freak. Again, add that to the list of crap that's happened this year for no reason. Guy just has some odd compartmental syndrome, what they call it.
Never even heard of it before.
I mean, I looked at Faith when we heard he was hurt. I said, did he get hit? I'm like, did I miss something? And they're like, no, he just got in the locker room and blood was pooling up in his thigh. I'm like, this is the most snake bitten group of people that it's crazy. So again, maybe fortunes have changed. Maybe that second half for Arkansas against Arkansas changed the fortune of this team. Would love to see Auburn actually. Can Auburn win out? Let's just real quick. take this momentum. I mean, every game on the schedule, even Alabama's winnable. Alabama's no world beater. I mean, you saw what they did against South Carolina. It's 2 years in a row they snuck one out against South Carolina. So they've got a good offense, but their defense has holes. I mean, if you could actually catch momentum and build towards something, I think that's kind of what I named the podcast this morning. Can Auburn build momentum to finish the season strong? Because all we've done is limp into the postseason or limp into the offseason going, well, we're going to get better next year. You know, we're going to do more next year, blah, 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 and all this. We're right here on the edge. We're so close. And then it's the same story. Can they actually, I mean, can you imagine how much better everybody's feeling if Auburn reels this off, gets to 8-4? I think all of us thought it was going to be maybe an 8-4 season, maybe not looking like the losses wouldn't be the losses we thought, but hey, you still got a chance there, man. I mean, there's still a lot to play for.
Yeah, I mean, you could have 2 top 10 wins if you run the table. Alabama's going to be in the top 10 more than likely. If Vanderbilt knocks off Texas this weekend, they're going to still be in the top 10. And that's pretty. I mean, that's good. That's really good especially if you can win those. One of them being on the road. I think it really builds some positive momentum. They have the talent to do it. In my opinion, you got the roster to be able to do it. Do you have the coaching to be able to do it? Do you have the preparation and the attention to details? That still remains to be seen. I think that would build a huge wave of momentum if you could do that, though.
Right. Again, got some comments coming in. Bishop said Tulane got crushed last night. Ryan, good to see you or hear from you this morning. He said if it not for officials, Auburn played well enough to beat Oklahoma and Georgia. I can't argue with that at all. Against Kentucky, it's the Thompson and Singleton show. MS said, watch Darrell's first carry against Ball State. Took a shot to his upper thigh. So
it's good. It's good stuff because I wouldn't have known that.
I wouldn't either. Ryan said, pipe down. Better focus on beating at Vanderbilt. Like, I totally get that, Ryan. What I'm saying is that could you win out though? You're going to take them one at a time. Nobody's overlooking Kentucky and nobody's looking past anybody. I'm thinking, can you build enough momentum game to game to game to actually finish the season strong and get this program back going in the right direction? So I think that's kind of where we're going with it. All right, guys, finally, before we get off today, Faith, we're going to do a couple more of our partners here on the program. We'll talk about basketball. It's an exhibition game last night. Don't get all excited about it, but I think you get some positive things out of that last night, and especially from a lot of these newcomers. There's only one veteran on the team. It's Todd Pettiford, and I don't know if you can really call him a veteran. Being so young, but everybody else is new. But the production that you saw, and I've got some things I want to talk about there. But Old Number One Customs just finished the remodel at my house on the master bathroom. Go check out the video, the virtual video that I put out. It's just unbelievable. If you've got a remodel plan project that you're planning, they're the ones to call. Bathroom, kitchen, bedroom, outdoor living space, call them 334-752-6162 for your next project at home.
Go ahead and get that Home Atlas Water Filter Duo installed for just $15.99. It's so important to have filtered water. I talked about it yesterday about just some of the benefits of having filtered water. I mean, it's so harsh on your skin, and I mean, when you're drinking it too, if you don't have filtered water, all the chlorine and minerals that you're not filtering out. So call them at 844-JFA-BLUE. And for your tailgates this weekend, please go ahead and get Oliver Ross. I know everybody's going to be needing a bartender for, this Auburn football team. And so get them for your tailgating services. They can handle up to 20,000 people. And so go ahead and just get them for all the white tents, and let them take care of everything. They're going to be the bartending service for you.
Absolutely. There's a lot of white tents out there for sure. So Oliver Ross will take care of you. All right. Final part here, basketball. Auburn getting a big win over Memphis. Look, it's exhibition. But again, when you look at the breakdown, of the way this game played out. Some things that stood out to me was the way the game started. Caden Magwood getting the start. I mean, Philip Jovic having a great game. Look, and again, these guys that come from Europe, man, they just have a different way they approach the game. He had a posterizing dunk in the game last night, but this guy, like, I don't think people realize. And I had some people text me after the Oklahoma State game and go, "Oh, man, I don't know about this." I'm like, you just need to hold on, man. These guys play a different brand of basketball, and their basketball IQ is off the chart. And man, that last night looked easy for him. It really did.
For sure. Look, to me, the big story is Caden Magwood. Look, when he got here, I think this summer when they really started working out, he really struggled with like all the aspects of being a point guard. The shooting's never been a problem. He can light it up from three, and he hit both of his threes last night. But it's being able to actually facilitate the offense. Hey, getting it across half court was trouble. Like it just that competition of being able to just get down the court. So to see him get the start, which is nothing, I don't think that's breaking news. It's an exhibition game. To get the start and then go on a run.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like not bogged down, jump out of the gates, going on a run with him. He did have 5 turnovers. I think those can be cleaned up.
Sure.
But that to me is huge because you got to hide. You got to have somebody behind him. You got to have somebody, especially if like he gets in foul trouble or if he gets hurt or something like that, somebody that can actually get the ball down the court. Like you got to have somebody that can do that. And his improvement from summer till last night is incredible.
Oh man.
He can be a player and this could be something, he could be your guy for a couple more years. You know what I mean? Like he's that to me, I'm very, very excited seeing that production out of him.
Faith, I walked out of Pro Day and I called you because you had to leave early. And I said, Caden Magwood. I said, man, this guy shoots the lights out of it. I mean, I think just to echo what Kyle said, you don't have to worry now. I mean, he's only going to get better and more confident as he gets in these games. But that was an odd starting lineup for Stephen. I thought that was pretty good to go run the ones he went out. I think he ran out
Bashir, Magwood.
Yes. Did he run out SWA too?
I think he started and Philip started, right? And then I can't remember who the fifth one was. Probably Keyshawn Hall.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Well, and then that goes to my next point. And Faith and I looked at this at Pro Day, like Keyshawn Hall. Thank God he didn't leave. That's all I can tell you. Faith, your thoughts on what we didn't get a chance to watch the game last night because we were calling a football game. But just going over this, another thing I noticed, I'll get your thoughts on it, is the disbursement of minutes between all the guys. I mean, having a deep bench, Stephen told us in one of the times that we were in an interview session with him that this has got to be a 10-11 deep team. This can't be a 7-8 deep team this year like last year where they'd whittled the bench down. He said, we got to have more contribution, and it looks like that's what he's trying to do with the minute.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I think he did a really good job of that. The most minutes played, 24 by Keyshawn Hall. And I think that's probably not going to change too much throughout the season of him probably having some of the most minutes. But, I mean, everyone averaging around that 20-minute mark of the game. And then, you've got some more that are 14, 17, kind of there. But I think he did a really good job there. But like you said, we weren't able to watch it at all. So I would really like to go back and, see how the game played out itself. But, I mean, definitely a good start after 2 weeks ago against Oklahoma State. Yeah. So.
Hey, and then you heard Stephen talk about how they did better defensively, caused a boatload of turnovers. That was kind of the storyline. Memphis turned it over 31 times in this game. Got out to a fast start, which I think is always huge. That's been the kind of the DNA behind a Bruce Pearl-led team, now maybe a Stephen Pearl team, is you get out to a fast start and then you play that lockdown defense, and it just makes teams miserable trying to come back.
For sure, man. That's Stephen's calling card, and they gave up a lot of points against Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State also, I think they didn't really take that as a exhibition. They wanted. No. They played one dude like 42 minutes. So,
but they've got some guards, man. Oklahoma State, I think, was not just maybe saying, "Hey, I'm trying to come out here and beat Auburn," and send a message. They were trying to send a message to their conference, like, "Hey, man, hey, we got the team. You better watch out." And look, they had 3 guys play about as well. I think they were all 24, 25 point plus guys. When you got 3 go for that, it's hard. So, but I love the way when you look at the box score, the breakdown of points. Again, this is not one guy. I know Keyshawn Hall had 20, but you got 15, 11, 2 9s, another 11, a 7, and 8. I mean, you got it spread out, and that to me is what makes teams so difficult. As far as when you look at, hey, there's not just one guy that we rely on, and if he's off that night, we've got a real good chance to beat him. Like, you don't know on this roster who could be the guy on any given night. Could be Hall most of the time, but Tahad could go for 25. I mean, Phillip could go for 15, 18. I mean, you just don't know in this roster.
Exactly. You don't know. You got to be able to, when you can sub in and you don't drop off on offense, that's when teams are dangerous.
So that's it for exhibition, and Auburn will open up with Bethune-Cookman coming up. So basketball season's here, everybody. It's
Monday, right?
Crazy. Yes.
Monday.
Yes.
Let's go.
I mean, let's get it. Let's Final Four team last year, completely different team outside of Todd Pettiford. We'll see where this team is headed under new leadership. Another Pearl, SP this time, not BP. So
let's go.
All right. Again, we'll close it out here this morning, Kyle. Again, appreciative of you jumping on with us on Fridays when you can, and hope everybody has a great Halloween. But tell everybody how they can keep up with you guys over at the barn.
Yeah, go to thebarnauburn.com. That's our message boards. Jump in there, jump in the conversation. We have the YouTube page, The Barn Auburn, on YouTube, where we do the live game streams and things like that. All our video content, or anywhere you get a podcast, the Barn Podcast Network.
All right, there it is. Faith, I'll let you send us out here on a Halloween. I wish I had some Thriller theme music I could play, but they'd probably cancel the podcast because of copyright stuff. I'd send us out with that.
Demonetized.
Yeah, exactly. They'll get the big old the red circle over there. So, but Faith, send us out here.
Hope everyone has the best Halloween ever. Please be safe and the best weekend ever.
Absolutely. Be safe. And then reminder, get your predictions in for the game. Tiebreaker is Ashton Daniels passing yards. And I'll be back on at noon with Andy for the noon show. And then Faith and I will be with you after the game tomorrow night. Our live post-game show brought to you by Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. So make sure you tune us in there. Make sure you go subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done that. Make sure you hit the like button as well. Appreciate all of you so much. As Faith said, be safe out there tonight. We'll see you tomorrow for more Auburn Blitz.